this conversation is around, is the one shop stop?
Yeah, is the one
stop
dead? Is the one stop shop dead? One stop shop.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, if you can say it.
Okay, so today the focus of today's episode is the one shop stop dead?
One stop shop.
One stop shop. I can't. That's the thing now, isn't it? Are we picking up from that?
Yeah. So yeah, is it dead? Yeah, yes or no. So my view on it, and I'd love to hear all your views in the comments, is I think it's dead.
Yeah.
I think if you picture the world 10 years ago, 5 years ago, pre-COVID era. God, I'm saying that like COVID was in like the 80s. The way that people viewed intranets was this was a site, and people clicked the link and went to this site, and that was then they had things that they needed. So I think that's dead now. That whole experience that you're giving to people, and the way I see it now is it's in a world more of you need to bring the shop to where people are.
That's easier to say as well.
Way easier. So you've got your intranet, you've got all your information there, your knowledge there, your assets, everything about your intranet is there. Now, how do you get it to people where they are? So, first of all, understanding where people are in the Microsoft ecosystem, and I'll reel off some examples of where people are, and hopefully everyone's having light bulb moments going, do you know what? Yeah. So you're going to have a percentage of people in Outlook. So they think they operate their day-to-day by email, and that's fine. If they like to be an email and they like to operate from that, great. So you need to make sure you're getting elements of your intranet to them in Outlook. Like the news, for example. If you've got SharePoint news operating from the central intranet area, there needs to be some automation to get those relevant pieces to people in Outlook. You're going to have large portions of your organization now in Microsoft Teams. They're going to spend all day in Teams. And on another episode that we'll have coming up, we'll show you a good structure of what Microsoft Teams looks like. But they could be doing their projects in Teams, various different projects. They could having their whole department in there. And people might want to get different things of the intranet to where they are in Teams. So when we showed you our episode about homepages, the whole intranet can surface in Teams. But you can actually just have the news just surface in a little pop-out area in Teams. And you can tailor tabs at the top of channels to have different pages within the intranet that is relevant to people in Teams. So you're taking your intranet from over here, and you're pulling relevant specific bits and feeding it to people where they are. You've also got the likes of Viva Engage, the new Yammer, and that is the more social-led conversation space that Microsoft offers. And people might love being there. They might be, a lot of the younger generation. Can we call them the younger generation? Are we that old now?
I think, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We'll just take a moment there. We'll continue quite quickly.
They live and breathe in social media.
Yeah.
And Viva Engage has that same sort of social feel. It has an app available on the phone, and they might like to see everything through that as a user interface.
Just picking up quickly on the age thing there.
Oh, thanks.
You'd be in a positive way, because when I love the fact that we start talk to organisations and their eyes do light up when you say we're going to social media-fy things, because as much as we're not then pulling away from the professionalism, it's the user engagement. And that social media-fy, you might think there's a generational thing there, and we joke about the younger generation, but actually everybody is WhatsApping, they're on LinkedIn, they're on Facebook, and when we can give that simplicity of functionality, we're so used to seeing these interfaces now, when they start to show up, and they should be showing up in your intranets, you get sudden and quick, kind of like, oh, I get this, I see this, and I can get on board with this. Does that make sense?
Exactly, yeah. And you got to think about the format in how you're delivering this content to your employees, especially the younger generations coming through. So I got a little story around, I was working in an organisation, and it was the HR department came and said, Craig, I'm really struggling getting people to open these training PowerPoints, and I want to know how many people have opened them. And I just said, why? I said, what do you want to know that for? So it's completely pointless. I said, wouldn't you rather know who opened it, who found it useful, who shared it, and who actually put this stuff into practice and got something out of the information?
Added value.
And added value. I said, they're vanity metrics. How many people opened it? You just want to give a report to your manager on how many people have opened your PowerPoint. It's about understanding. You would rather see the metrics on the use of it, the shares of it, and things like that. And if you also look at the format, so my nephew at the time was like 10 years old, and he was forever on YouTube, and he actually does Rubik's Cubes competitions, and he's really good at it. Shout out to Joel. And
we're not doing an episode long enough for me to do a Rubik's Cube.
But he learned all of the algorithms by watching YouTube videos. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, in 10 years' time, he could be working here, and he's going to come into the organisation and he's going to say, where's your YouTube? Mm. How do I watch and learn and apply what I've been doing in my personal life here into the workplace? So you've got to think about things like that when you're thinking about people's experiences. You've got to really understand the people of what's important to them, how do they want to receive this information, where do they want to receive it, and in what format. And I like to tell another little story. It's a famous Rory Sutherland story about lifts, and it really explains things from a user experience point of view. So the story is basically, very quickly, lifts were invented and obviously get you from one floor to the other, but they're very slow in their design. You know, they don't suddenly rapidly get you up there in the lift. They're quite slow. And they were receiving a lot of complaints about it's taking me ages to get to the floor I want. And they said, how do we fix this problem? And the easiest option they came up with was, well, let's make the lifts quicker. And how much will that cost? Oh, 5 million quid to make the lifts quicker.
I think health and safety might have an issue with that. Yeah. And get to a certain optimal point.
Yeah. And they brought in a more experience focused person to analyze the situation. And this person said, don't bother making them quicker. Do two things. Put a button in the lift which tells them they can close the doors. Don't hook it up to anything. Just, it's a placebo button. Just let them feel in control that they can shut the doors, and it's going quicker because I'm pushing the button. And that's actually a fact. Those buttons in lifts, they don't do anything.
I've only recently found that out.
Everyone's going to be in the lift now, pushing the button. And the other one was put mirrors in them, because people will adjust themselves, do the makeup, and by the time they get there, they'd probably wanted the lift to go slower. And I quite like that story because it's a good view on understanding what experience that people want from it. Is it really you want to get there quicker? No, it's I just want a better experience in the lift. So when I say one-stop shops are dead and you got to bring the shop to people, if we were to go and do poll surveys and interviews around how do you want to receive the information from your intranet, you probably wouldn't get people saying, I just want to go to that one place. You'll probably get people saying, I want to deliver snippets of everything in the intranet when I want it, where I am.
Yeah, I think this goes back to a couple of conversations we've had on previous episodes. I've written, as we were talking, I've written down, there's the control, the flexibility, and the uniqueness, and it's different for every organisation. We speak to a lot of companies now that are in the, for example, the construction space, or the space where they've got lots of people in different locations, out on projects, out on sites, and the fact that we can give the functionality on your phone or on a tablet.
Yeah.
The mentality of an intranet, like you said, is, I've got to be on my home-based computer.
Yeah.
And not even like some people's mindset on the flexibility of laptops. Your laptops doesn't need to be plugged in. And it's quite comical, isn't it, how the mindset needs to shift forward.
The mobile phone one is a great one. There's probably a lot of remote workers in lots of organisations, and they just have the mobile phone in their pocket. That's their connection to the organisation. And what a lot of people don't realise is you can get pop-ups coming up on their phones with vital news from the intranet, announcements or alerts. You can create things like Power Apps, and they can download the Power App directly to their phone, which might be a certain capability that lets them engage with the company. They can get the whole intranet on their phone. They can get Teams through their phone. They can get their tasks from the Planner To Do app, which we'll talk about in another episode. So the phone is just a computer with a phone app, isn't it, these days? So yeah, it's about understanding. You've got all these different people with wanting various different experiences based on their uniqueness, and getting all of those little elements of the intranet, how they want it, where they want it, when they want it.
Yeah, fab, excellent. And we'll finish there. So please let us know your thoughts on, is the one-stop shop dead? I've realised I wrote it down wrong when I did the intro. That's why I was getting it wrong. So what are your thoughts on that conversation we've just had? And we'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Please make sure you like this episode, share it forwards, and make sure you subscribe for future episodes. See you on the next one.